Welcome to Blue Talks.
Sveta Silverman, so super stoked to have you here. And Sveta, I know you and Elise had a chance for just a second to introduce yourselves to one another. So feel free to. And then also, Sveta, I always get our guests to do a little bit of an introduction about themselves, and then we dive deeper. So I'll let you guys say hi, and then if you want to tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hello again, beautiful.
Hi, Elise. And guys, I am so honored and so grateful. And I am a juicy guest. Awesome.
Yeah, super juicy, sassy, and I know that you have exciting news to share with everyone. Like today is like a day to celebrate, right?
Well, today I believe that being a guest on Blue Talks is huge because your network is, we are spreading the message. In fact, let's say I'm going to be spreading the message of health. It's interesting. You're teaching flipping the script. I'm teaching flipping the cellular switch.
It's all tied in. The reason we flip our script is so the cells can regenerate themselves.
Absolutely. You cannot flip the script if your switch is unhealthy. And that's what because everything is intertwined and absolutely and incredibly interconnected. And I keep flipping my switch on my expandable desk. I don't sit. I have an ergonomic desk because, as they say, sitting is the second smoking these days.
Well, I'm sitting, but I'm bouncing.
There you go.
So can you tell us a little bit about who you are? Because your background is incredibly impressive. And I know that you have had many careers on your journey towards your new launch, which I'd love for you to share as well. But can you tell us a little bit about where you've come from and how you've flipped your script or flipped your switch to be where you are now and share the message that you're sharing?
Well, thank you again. So obviously, guys, you hear my accent. So I am the immigrant from the former CCCP. And some of you, not Corey, but maybe Elise, you guys are young enough to remember the 1973 hockey series, CCCP, USSR. So I'm a very proud Russian/Jewish Canadian. And I left Soviet Union basically on the brink of 1990, Christmas of 1989. And if you may say there were many careers, considering my second career in Canada as washing the floors at the Fantasyland Hotel. But it's usually...
That I didn't know.
So now you do. $5.75 an hour. So, but usually it's actually per se, it's a maturity to one mission. If you call it career, it's a career. It's a mission to help people. Basically, it's a mission to be a healer. So it all started, I am a former pediatric surgeon in the Soviet Union, practiced for about 2.5 years till I immigrated. I basically ran away because I needed to run away. And I left a very comfortable life by Russian standards and a very affluent family because I just wanted freedom. I just wanted me to be me. So always inspired by my parents, always inspired by my mother. My mother is an incremental part of my soul and my journey. She was a healer on this earth. She entered the room and the room lit up and people were instantly feeling better. And I didn't understand this. But hopefully now I'm kind of inheriting those vibes. So I came to Canada, yes, lost all the credentials, and I was washing hotels.
Yeah, amazing, right? So
You know, it's great. It's great on your muscles. It's not particularly exciting on your mental things. And then again, by the virtue of the universe, I was hired as a part-time instructor to teach anatomy and histology. How did that happen? I have no idea. Miracle. However, that went to another thing, and it's interesting. Here in Canada, actually, I could teach in medical school, but I couldn't practice. So that's interesting. I could spoil their brains, the medical students' brains, but no, absolutely no rights to practice medicine. So I was at the 4 weeks sign what to do with my life, and I knew that I am going to go back to school. So whether I'm going to back to school into something I know to do, like medicine, or to do something else. And I was so inspired actually by my students, of all people, but mostly by my husband, who was pushing me through and through to get back into medical school. Yes, I went back into medical school from day one. I am fully retrained. I speak with an accent, think like a Western physician, and a whole lot more. That's another story. So graduated in the year 2000, and I absolutely cognitively chose to practice pathology. Because I actually didn't, as an ex-surgeon, I wanted to be very close to the operating room. But per se, I didn't want to be in the operating room because it's a night job. At my age of graduation, I really wanted to sleep at home as opposed to sleep, or maybe not to sleep in the hospital. So I chose to practice pathology. I diagnose diseases, and since graduation, I specialize in breast cancer. I'm a breast cancer pathologist, so I diagnose bad cells. And I am very close to the operating room. I call pathology parasurgical discipline. So I'm in a very close contact with all my practicing, very handy physicians. And maybe I don't, what's that?
I said amazing. I have my mind is like, I have some, normally I'm not the question asker. I'm like, where are you from? How many kids do you have? Like, and Corey's the one that comes up with like,
people are asking me, how many kids do I have? And I keep telling people the whole world are my children.
Right.
Because of the message. And my message, yes, listen, I diagnose cancers. It's a power. I'm a very powerful physician. In terms of, upon my diagnosis, the patient is going to be treated, and the patient may be embarking into what is called cytotoxic therapy or chemotherapy and stuff. And to give someone a C diagnosis, that's what I'm teaching. When you're not aware of the C and stuff, you're mortified. It's like, okay, let's plan the funeral. No, let's don't. Let's get back.
Right, to me,
it's the beginning of the journey.
It's a beginning. It's a message. It's letting you. So we spoke yesterday with Dr. Elizabeth Hughes about the emotional component of cancer per se. Actually, we had this conversation. So I'm so curious to know what your perspective is. So I work on what I call the emotional root, right? The emotion that has been sitting and causing this. I call it emotional plaque buildup, and then it manifests somewhere in the body as a disease. So I have a definition and an understanding of a certain archetype of somebody who gets who breast cancer manifests in their being, right? So I'm so curious about your perspective, and if there's a common thread in how people feel about themselves and the way that they're thinking. And breast cancer, like if there's a tie-in to the mind science sort of physical manifestation, and how you see that.
Well, thank you, Liz, and you're opening a huge can of worms, because everybody has.
I usually do.
Everybody has a personal story with cancer. Mm-hmm. So my story with cancer again started with my mom, who was diagnosed with multiple cancers in 2004, and her breast cancer was a red herring. But that red herring, to me, led to such an enormous amount of stress that actually blown her very smoldering, very long going, indolent, what is called lymphoma, into absolutely mortal, very aggressive, spill into the whole body. And that's when I've discovered that I can't do anything. My conventional medicine is not helping. It's there, but I need more. I'm crossed, and I still learn. I'm a perpetual student. The more I know, the more I'm confused. The more I know, the less I know. The more I learn, the less I know. And my idea is, that's a whole thing. I want to align the mechanism of the cells to the everything that is around us. Inside, because we are born as a perfect cellular machine. In fact, we are, I call ourselves a lump of cells. We are a lump of, let's say, some say 30 plus trillion, some say 40 plus trillion. We are a lump of a lot of cells. And a cell is a machinery. It's like a very, very complicated car. And when we're born, or when it's a new car, everything works perfect. So how do we preserve that normality through everything we put in our life? So that is why when you say, absolutely, breast cancer is lined up with emotions. Not only with emotions, some studies that the breast cancer in the right breast is aligned to this type of emotions, and the breast cancer in the left breast is aligned to those kind of emotions. But how do we unravel the pattern? You know, what I teach is, I love to teach integrative medicine, or what is called personalized medicine. Everything that helps this patient. Number one, we need to be personal. How many of us physicians are actually connect with somebody that is sitting across? We connect like this. How are you doing? Okay, good. How is it about this? Connection and love. Medicine by Hippocrates started with love. And let food be thou medicine, and medicine be thou food. But there is a whole lot more, because now we're so advanced. We do have genetic tests, and we have epigenetic tests, which is what do we actually do with our genes? Because our genes is like a software. So you do this on your genes, and that's how they're going to be activated.
Absolutely.
And some of us actually know that. Mr. Corey Poirier, he knows that on his own example. When he does right things, everything is awesome. So, but the thing is, number one, okay, you can do, I usually call it pillars of health. And guess what?
Pillars of health?
Pillars of health. And I never call food, not anymore, as a pillar of health number one.
I got to tell you, neither did Dr. Elizabeth Hughes. Do you know each other? We need to put you two together.
You absolutely do. Hello, what's wrong with you?
No, nothing. I'm getting it. I'm letting you know right now. If you don't know her, you need to know her, because you're speaking the same language.
The tribe. We need to build that tribe. And
I'm in, girl. We're building it right now.
Yeah, when I started my journey, it's all an evolution. It actually started with foods. I didn't know any better.
Right.
And I thought foods is end all and be all. With medicine, medicine is needed when it's needed. But to bring every one of us to health, to the root causes, I need to look into myself. You need to look into yourself. And that's where that empowerment comes from. I need to teach you to get back to the best of you and believe in you. I want you and every one of us to be in charge of that body.
Yep.
And of course,
I'm with you, girl.
Everybody else, all the doctors and everybody. That's a support team with a huge knowledge and stuff, but those are very educated advisors. And we stop taking responsibilities. Doctor, what pill should I take? No, you need to make those hard decisions. So number one in my pillars of health is not food. It's this. It's the mind. It's the emotions. It's our spirituality. We are all stressed right now. And if you tell me I'm not stressed, you're lying. And we're always stressed because that's the life we're getting in. So that stress needs to be, what do I do? How do I start my day? Do I start with pray? Or if you don't pray, do I start with meditation? Do I start just with quiet and acknowledgement? My cat is on my chest, and I'm so grateful because she's grounding me. So she's making me little things, she makes me happy. What makes us happy? That's the foundation. You know,
absolutely.
Some say start 17 seconds. So you stress, everything is bad. You stress, there you go, you stress, everything is bad in your mind. Switch it 16, 17 seconds, something that you absolutely know is going to be happy. See what's going to happen in 17 seconds.
I try to break it down. I try to break it down for my clients, and I say all you really need to do is find one better feeling thought. It doesn't even matter what that thought is. One better feeling thought to flip your script and shift the focus there, and that will then take your attention in that direction.
Because your cells, again, it's a software. Your cells
and the hard drive.
Your cells are followers. They follow you. And everything about us is energy, whether we like it or not. It's electricity and energy. It's all about plus, minus, plus, minus. And plus, minus, plus, minus, it's up to me where to bring it. Because if it's in a lot of minuses, that's a lot of negativity. And that is going to convert into cellular physicality. So
manifestation of disease.
Biology of cellular. So that is a dis-ease. Dis-ease. So then, for example, from that mind, and that, I don't know how you cheat on a cheat. Lock yourself in a room and just laugh for 5 minutes. That's it. Fake it till you make it. And then we're going into the foundation of number 2, pillar number 2. We're going to talk food. And it's very simple. It has to be nutrient-dense food. Per se, I'm not preaching organic, but I'm preaching no boxes. Right. No boxes. Something that you read you got to be responsible for the list of ingredients. So you take this box and you start reading that whole page. You can't even pronounce 3/4 of these names. Put it back. Does it matter whether it's on sale? Was it the most?
I love that you say that, because it's kind of a without exception thing. Without exception, like gravity.
It's on clearance. I need to get it. It's on sale.
Right. Sorry, gravity doesn't work that way either. If you jump out of a plane, you need a parachute.
Yeah, this is for sale and clearance. The body and the food is not for sale and clearance. It's for the highest quality. Garbage in, garbage out. So, and then it's the same thing. It's like, go back to your grandparents. Go back to your ancestors. It's very simple. I'm not teaching you veganism. But what I'm teaching you is healthy foods.
Right.
Healthy foods. However, let's say with cancer, it's more details. It's another story. But for normal people, you actually need to know what you're eating. Because your apple juice has nothing to do with apple juice to begin with.
It's apple drink. Half of it is apple drink.
I don't even know whether there are apples on the list of ingredients. It may simulate something. That's a whole thing. If you want apples, which are absolutely incredibly nutritious, the thing is, when you use your apples, it's a lot of sweetness. We need to slow down on the sugary thing. But if you want your apples, people say, oh, I can't afford organic. Don't afford organic. You can't afford apples. What is cheaper than apples? Oranges? And both of them, let's say apples preferably organic, but not. That's fine. You take your apple, you wash your apple, you rinse your apple. How many of us have simple household vinegar in the cupboards? Everybody. Well, this is your best rinser. You don't need to go for anything fancy. So you rinse the fruit, then you rinse that thing, and guess what's the healthiest on the apple or in the apple? Is the peel. Because the peel of the apple is going to feed, the flesh of the apple feeds everything, it's yum yum. But the peel of the apple not only is going to feed everything, but it feeds your gut and it feeds your microgut. And we are nothing without microgut. That's a thing. We're the nation or the population of a very unhealthy gut and unhealthy microgut.
And the mind-gut connection is
Because
huge.
there's a mind-gut connection. Nothing you can. This is bona fide science. Whether I am a conventional doctor, whether I'm a quack, whether I am a holistic doctor, whether I'm a holistic health practitioner, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is.
Right.
So
right. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not.
This is the way it is.
But it does matter. But it does matter what you believe. So there's catch-22.
Exactly why the lifespan is going down. You know why? It's like, yeah, I started taking charge of my existence and my health and my genes because my great-grandmother passed away at 86. My grandmother passed away at 78. And my mother passed away at 73. And so I need to take care of my genes and my body before I need to go and get a pill. That's a thing. The best cure of the disease is the disease prevention. So that's what we're teaching. I'm teaching the anticipatory. This is the prospective, not a retrospective. And it is so simple because, okay, you can make a chicken soup. You can eat your eggs, and eggs are so nutritious and delicious, and that fat is an amazing fat. However, let's also take care of our animals. Let's eat free-range eggs. Let's eat clean eggs with amazing, clean orange yolks, full of goodness, because that fat is going to give something incredibly important for the brain. The brain doesn't function without. So the foundation is not your supplements. The foundation is not your vitamins. The British call them vitamins. We call them vitamins. But it's a food. It's a macro food. It's the proteins, carbs, and fat, and we need to make the best out of it. And then we're going into exercise and hydration. We need to pin ourselves to daily exercise without New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolution, I'm going to the gym for how long? 3 days. And you don't, your exercise is normal exercise. Walk around the block. Walk around with your dog. Just walk up and down the stairs. You don't need to push 200 pounds of steel. You need to do regular exercise. You need to move. You need to move and you need to stay hydrated. And when I'm talking stay hydrated, I don't mean drink Coca-Cola. Some of them like soft drinks. Some of us do not like soft drinks.
I'm drinking water with chlorophyll in it.
There you go. And I'm drinking
chlorooxygen or something it's called.
There you go. So I'm drinking my own. And as you see, it's in the glass container. Because
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing because it's a toxicants. Everything is about that health. Now you gotta stay hydrated. And guys, coffee is not your hydration, it's your yum. It may be your boost. But coffee is not your hydration. Hydration is your clean water. Clean water. I am not a proponent of tap water. Find your ways to clean water, whatever your wallet allows. If it allows filtering, filter. If it allows going and buying mineral water there are stores that bring spring water. If you can afford reverse osmosis, go for it. If you can afford different systems like Berkey, go for it. whatever knocks your fancy. But you need to stay hydrated. You need to stay hydrated.
So, sorry to jump in. I have a question because you just mentioned on the Berkey. I want to ask you something about that.
I have a Berkey.
But also, I want to ask you. I want to mention something, and then I want to ask you a question on this one area. But the as far as the organic thing, somebody said this to me one time. I thought it was so wise, and I just want to put it out there. Actually, I'll give her a shout out. Her name is Lil McPherson, Lil McPherson. She runs what's called the Wooden Monkey in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is a farm-to-table type 2 restaurants. And she told me basically, I said, like, do you ever drink beer? She goes, of course I do. She said, I work based on a 90-10 rule. And she said, I figure if I'm only bad 10% of the time, the 90 will take care of itself. But one thing she said to me, she said, I think it's really bad that we've gone out of our way to name the food that actually is the best of foods. That was the original food we started with, organic. Because she said we've made it sound like it's a bad thing and it's actually the new thing that was created, when in fact it's just food. Everything else is not organic. Like, so what you're saying is, like, because I brought up that I saw somebody pick up a bananas in a food store and she went, ooh, organic, and threw it back. And I said it to her and she said, that's the problem. We've made people think organic is something different. And she said, when in fact, it's supposed to be the closest to what we used to eat in the first place, natural food. So why did we give it this name organic? We've given all these negative stigmas towards it, like it costs more and all this. But anyway, that's a side note. But I want to ask you about the Berkey, because I don't think it was you that told me about it. Somebody else did, and I went and researched it. And I was looking to buy one, and all the reviews I read, that's not true, not all, but a lot of the reviews I read said people had done tests on it, and the Berkey was just basically just a product that people got sold on like everything else, and that the quality of the water wasn't any better. And then they gave the example of what they tested that was better, and even one was showed a picture of their lab where they tested it and all that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to get your take on, not necessarily Berkey, I'm not trying to knock them because I have no idea, I don't even know enough about them, but how as humans, how as people, do we make sure, like, because if we read a new magazine or go online, every second day something is the brand new shiny object. How do we as average humans know what really is good and what isn't good and what's been tested and all that? How do we make decisions?
Well, that's a
big question.
That's $1 million question.
Well, we're here for the big question.
Let me start with organic.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, organic is different from organic. So here's the deal. I'm a huge proponent of local, and I'm a huge supporter of local farms. And I know my farms. And some of my farms do not have a label certified organic because it costs them a lot of money, and it means basically not much. I know my farmers. I know their soil. I know their honesty. I know their integrity. I know what they grow. I really don't care for the label of organicity with people I know, and I go to my farmer's market, and there is no rhyme or reason for them to lie to me. I asked them, do you spray? They said, yeah, we're not certified organic. They show me the spray, the human grade or something like that, which is absolutely natural. And then he sprays it in his mouth. He said, that's how safe it is. But not only I'm supporting them, but I'm getting their produce that was in the ground or in their farm yesterday, as opposed to I'm going to whatever superstore or something, and I'm looking at organic tomatoes from Mexico, love Mexico, but from Mexico. Where were they picked? When were they picked? They were never picked at the ripe stage. So that organic is completely different. Plus, the FDA and USDA rules of organicity doesn't mean that they're not sprayed. So organic is different from organic. That's what I'm saying. You need to eat nutrient-dense foods. For example, free range, yeah, like game. You're not going to put certified organic on game, but this is certified organic because it was running. Now it's not running anymore. So these kind of things. Again, and for example, Berkey, I haven't done research. Let's say my type of a research on Berkey. What you're reading from Google doesn't necessarily mean good and right, because people who write bad review, people need to understand this. People go on Google, find the first article, and it's negative. It's a blog. It's a blog. It has no scientific validation. And those bloggers are getting paid. Some of them are on the clicks. And they're getting paid specifically on negative reviews. So you're benefiting somebody's and denying somebody's well-being. What I will tell you about Berkeley. So here,
I should just clarify too, because just so you don't go too far in that direction, I'll just tell you where I read the reviews was on Amazon and on Yelp. I just want to let you know it was just people on Amazon talking about their experience. Now, again, I'm not saying they're right or they're not making up.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So obviously, for example, if somebody is asking me to review as an MD, so I'm going to go into my search engine, and that is not going to be Wikipedia, and that is not going to be Google Academy.
Right.
It's going to be, I'm going to go into PubMed.gov or National Institute of Health database. That's basically where I do that's my search engine. There are other search engines, but I'm not a computer, like genius, so it's easy peasy. However, I also have mentors who I trust. I just trust. I trust my mentors. For example, Corey, you are my network social media mentor. I trust you because you've proven it. You have never failed me. You always were on my side. You helped me. You're rising me from ashes. So same thing with, let's say, my health gurus, health mentors. If my mentor drinks Berkey, good enough. Is Berkey has pluses, minuses? Yeah, because there's only one water per se that is absolutely awesome. And this is the spring water out of this source that I come and I get my beaker on my cup or my bottle and I bottle that. That's the water. How many of us have that luxury?
Almost that many.
So that's the cleanest water. Per se, I go and buy bottled water. I have no clue whether they're pouring in that bottle. I simply don't, because I'm a skeptic. Mm-hmm. I know what's coming out of my reverse osmosis spigot. That's I do, because I do have reverse osmosis. And again, one of my health mentors and other health mentors, they say, drink Berkey. Okay, if you can afford it, go for it.
Well, and to that point, we have reverse osmosis in our place too. So I'm asking more from a perspective of, I just wanted to get your take on it because, again, I looked into it because I was thinking maybe for my office or something. But I just, again, it's one of those things, as you know, you can read 100 good reviews somewhere and then you can read.
And then, for example, what I wanted to say, bananas. So there is a list which is called Dirty Dozen. You just go online and just Google Dirty Dozen fruits and vegetables. And it will tell you what you need to eat organic, what you need to eat non-organic. Bananas, you don't need to eat organic, period. And then you really need to be very careful because, as I say, organic doesn't mean 100% clean. And organic also doesn't mean 100% fresh. So if I go to the farmer's market and I see my vendors with amazing fruits and vegetables that were picked, like, in a week, that's a thing, like, organic becomes very secondary to me. The most important thing for me to know where it's coming from, mm-hmm. and how much love is in it. Oh, we lost Elise?
Yeah, she had to jump off. She's going to jump back on here. But yeah, I totally agree with that. And I mean, I go to the farmer's market. I don't always drink. I'll say it this way. The most I drink besides water is usually once a week, I'll have one of these of chocolate milk, but I don't drink anything other than water. And I go to the farmer's market and I do all those things, but it's so easy to get confused with something new that comes out that everybody says, you need to get this right now. And if you don't get this, you're not going to be well anymore. And
and the industry of supplements and vitamins and probiotics and healthy drinks, it is entirely overwhelming for everyone. It is simply overwhelming. So, I mean, that's where, per se, identifying your people and identifying your tribe. Who do you trust in a health world? Who can I ask? Who can review this stuff? Because people tell me, oh, I'm going to do the research. No, you're not. You don't have time, and you're going to be bored. So it's like, it's not necessarily me, but there are people that's how we build health. We ask questions. You educate, you ask questions, and you get better. And you develop those recognition, those skills.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And like I said, I see Lisa's here. Lisa's here as well. But yeah, so I love that. I mean, like I said, it's just more of a question around the idea that it's always such a struggle for everybody to know who to listen to, what's right, what's wrong, what magazine should I buy? When I buy that magazine, it says this. The next magazine I buy says, don't do that. That's the worst thing you can ever do. The news says, coming up at 5, what you shouldn't eat ever in your life. And this is like, you're just in the middle of eating, and you're like, well, oh my God, what do I eat? Why don't you tell me now? This is 2:00 in the afternoon. And so we don't know where to go or what to listen to as average people.
Well, that's why, thank you. That's why you are bringing, and at least you're bringing, well, at least some doctors that maybe a little bit ahead of, the tribe. And as I said, it's absolutely overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and it's, for example, I call myself, I don't jump on and off the bandwagon, not to break my legs. So there are things that it's like, I do one job, it's like I stick with some supplements, but health is health is health. And the more I learn, the more I question. And the more I question, exactly, it gets more confusing, but it gets more clear. So I absolutely know that everyone has to be on vitamin D. That's it. It just, there's no discussion about it, especially in Canada. There's like, it's like period, like no questions. You need to find the best product. Or, for example, you got to be on probiotics. It's just the way it is, because the soil, the earth is depleting. The earth is suffering. So organic, not organic, the soil is not the same, and we're not resting the soil. So the crop we're getting, the fruits we're harvesting, they're not the same. So the nutritional composition is not the same, and we do need those. So people tell me, oh, I eat well, I don't need vitamins. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because you're not getting enough. But you also need to know what kind of vitamins, and do you need some and you don't need the others. So everybody's gut is sick. Everybody's gut has holes and has it has a leaky gut. Every one of us has a leaky gut. Just because what we're eating and how we're thinking, that's just the way it is. That's the biology of the cell. So if we have a leaky gut, we have microgut deficiency. So our probiotics are not 100% functional. So we need to boost it. Supplements are not substitutes. They are.
I like that.
They are supplementing, they're not substituting. So you cannot pop the pill and avoid healthy lifestyle and good nutrition and exercise and hydration and happiness. And happiness. What is the most I'm missing right now is this.
I wanted to tell you something. I jumped off for a few minutes. Did we talk about your new website?
You bet, absolutely. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm stoked about it.
Okay, well, tell us before we have to go, because it's really, really relevant to everything, and I have a question about it. So go ahead, girl.
I'm a hugger.
Tell us.
I'm a hugger. Let's put it this way. And what this social distancing and blah, blah, blah took away from me, I'm a hugger. And it just happened to be
I'm going to give you a tip before we leave. And I know my
every talk to me, it's like a message from my mom. It's a hug. I love hugging people. And there are so many papers on hugs and health. Fine. Now, everything about me is health. So to me, we just launched yesterday. Well, today I haven't even posted, but it's live. There is a website that is called Hugs with Sveta.
Can you put that in, Corey?
Hugs with Sveta. Now, hugs. What does it stand for? H is happiness and health. U is unlimited. G is gratitude. And S is success. So this is Hugs with Sveta. And guys, I am very transparent. This is who I am. This is who I am. The most to me is how many lives can I change? How many lives can I empower so tomorrow is better than today? And then they are going to do the same thing. It's like this. It's like a terrain. So Hugs with Sveta, there are blogs of me writing the blogs. There are blogs with interview with people who are on absolute verge of medicine, like Dr. Bob Miller, like Dr. Kiran Krishnan. And, I'm advertising the courses, like, on Sunday, join me. Zoom, free, Facebook Live, yoga, chair yoga. So it's for everyone. So it's not power yoga. It's not flow yoga. I'm not going to give you Bikram yoga. It is breathing and stretching and connecting, because prana or breathing is life. So, and this is free. So that is going to be, so whatever events are happening, it's on my Facebook. And slowly but surely, I will start posting my book. I'm writing a book.
Awesome. Well, Sveta Silverman, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'll call it to be continued, because I know we could chat forever on the subject, and we barely scratched the surface. But we also have the next guest in the backstage area, so I want to make sure we get everybody on today. Thank you, Sveta. Always feel the same. Thank you for being you, and we'll send you to the backstage for now. Send you off today, but as you know, it's a to be continued.
Thank you so much, Corey and Elise. Thank you, guys. Gratitude.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
You too, buddy.